Is your dream game a game where you pick up a ball and throw it at tablets to get points, while the environment around you keeps changing to keep you distracted, and there's an alarm clock that you have to press every 10 seconds so you can survive? Obviously not, because that's stupid. But that's the game I made for the GMTK Jam 2026, also known as the biggest game jam of all time. Now, I wasn't even supposed to take part on the GMTK Game Jam, but I decided to look at the theme, and the theme was Countdown. Now, why does the theme matter? Because 3 years ago, I made a game that fits this exact theme, except I never actually finished the game, so all I had was an ugly prototype that didn't even work properly. I even made a video about it, which means that this was my chance at redemption. I would take the concept, make a new game about it, and win the biggest game jam of all time. Okay, maybe not the last part. So now it's time to work, and the first thing I did was recreate the prototype that I made. So all you have is the timer counting down, and you can press it to go back to 10 seconds. And that's all I had, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I had no idea what to do. You see, the original concept of the game was to make a puzzle game, and I sure as hell am not gonna make a full puzzle game in 4 days. So we need another plan. I thought of making like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of game, but instead of wasting power when you shut down the doors, you need to press the timer every 10 seconds. But then I had a better idea and I gave the player a ball, for very simple reasons. 1. Everyone likes to play with balls. 2. I ended up settling on this kind of arcade game where you throw a ball to get points. All of this while the timer is running. So the goal is to get as many points as you can without letting the timer run out. I then work on making the game look better, making some cool models like the alarm clock and wherever this is. And at this point the game is almost finished. I'm not even kidding, this is like all I had planned for the game. But of course it's pretty boring. So we need to make the game not boring. First of all, I made the game look better by giving it a pixelated look, because I don't know how to make visuals. So this is a lazy way to make the game look decent. But before we actually make this game interesting, we need some kind of tutorial. So I added some text with a text-to-speech guide telling you how to play.
Grab the ball and throw it to the tablets to get points.
He also insults you after bad performance.
That was embarrassing.
And after explaining that you can reset the timer, the actual game starts. And this is where the true fun begins. Because this isn't just an arcade game where you throw the ball to get points. Because besides this awesome music playing, a lot of crazy stuff can happen. Like our little friend says,
a lot can happen in 10 seconds.
And that's the fun of the game. The longer you play, the more weird stuff happens. There's different kinds of minigames with a ball. The lights go out. You get more balls. Nice. More tablets to hit. Colorful lights. A horse with a copyright text. And even a photo of the host of the jam, Mark Brown, but blue. There's also a lot of other stuff happening, but you're gonna have to play to find out. I then made a main menu, added some settings, and the game was actually finished. And all that's left is to submit the game to the Game Jam. And now my game was competing against 10,407 games. That's not scary at all. But what truly matters in the end is how things finish when they end. And by that, of course, I'm talking about the results of the Game Jam. So in a Game Jam with more than 10,000 games, how well did my game perform? Well, the results are this. Okay, so the games were divided into 5 categories, and there's not an official overall category. Fortunately, some people did make a list with all the games, and my game is at 1,832nd place. That's top 18% of the submissions, which means that this was my best performance in a game jam ever, on the biggest game jam of all time, mind you. So I picked up a concept from an old game I had, I made a new game with it, and it was my best game jam performance of all time on the biggest game jam of all time, on a game that I didn't even take seriously. So what does this say about me as a game developer? I don't know, I don't know what I was going with this. So I think that's it for this video. It was pretty short, but truthfully I didn't have much to show about this game, because I forgot to record most of the progress. But don't tell anyone that. So if you enjoyed, remember to subscribe and like the video. And I recently made a Discord server for this channel. So if you like my content, you can join the Discord and talk to other people who also like my content for some reason. And you can play the game for free on itch.io. Here's some gameplay to convince you to play.
That was embarrassing.